Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship and looked out at the stars. The ship was called Harmony's Edge, and it was flying through space toward a planet he had never seen before. Jake was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes. He had been flying ships for 20 years, but this trip was special. The ship carried 43 humans. They were scientists, doctors, and teachers. All of them were excited about meeting new alien friends. Dr. Lisa Carter walked up to Jake and smiled. She was young and smart, with brown hair tied back in a neat way. "Captain, we'll reach the Centauri planet in 2 hours," she said. "The crew is ready for the welcome ceremony." Jake nodded. "Good. Remember, Lisa, we want to make a good first impression. The Centauri have invited us to join their big alliance. This could change everything for humanity." Lisa looked excited. "I can't believe we're finally going to meet 12 different alien species all at once. My whole life, I've dreamed of this moment." Commander Ryan Blake joined them on the bridge. He was a strong man with serious eyes and short black hair. Ryan always looked like he was thinking about something important. He carried himself like a soldier, but he spoke softly. "Captain, I've checked all our diplomatic gifts 3 times. The medical supplies are ready, and our cultural exchange materials are packed properly," Ryan said. Jake smiled at his crew. These people had worked hard to get here. Earth had spent 50 years preparing for this moment. Humans had met other alien species before, but never so many at once. The Centauri Confederacy was like a big club of peaceful planets, and they wanted humans to join. Ambassador Kate Sullivan walked onto the bridge. She was a smart woman with blonde hair and a warm smile. Kate had spent years learning about alien cultures and languages. She could speak 5 different alien languages perfectly. "The aliens are sending us messages of welcome," Kate said. "They seem very happy that we're coming. The High Counselor Vexthara wants to meet with us as soon as we land." Jake felt proud of his species. Humans had come so far. 300 years ago, people on Earth fought terrible wars. They killed each other over land, resources, and different beliefs. But when humans first met aliens, everything changed. They decided to become peaceful. They chose to help others instead of fighting. The first alien contact happened in 2087. A small alien ship crashed on Earth. Instead of taking their technology or treating them as enemies, humans helped the aliens fix their ship. They gave them food and medical care. When the aliens left, they told other species about human kindness. Since then, humans had met 47 different alien species. Every time humans offered help instead of weapons, they shared their medical knowledge. They helped build schools and hospitals on alien worlds. They never asked for anything in return. "Captain, look at this," Lisa said, pointing at her computer screen. "I'm reading about all the species in the Centauri Confederacy. The Aquilians are great artists. The Thermic people are amazing engineers. The Zenhai are peaceful farmers who grow food for other planets." Ryan looked at the information too. They all seem very different from each other, but they work together. That's impressive. Jake agreed. That's what we want too. Humans have always been good at working with others. We might be different from these aliens, but we share the same goals. We want peace, progress, and friendship. The ship's computer made a soft sound. "Arriving at Centauri Prime in 30 minutes. It announced. Kate checked her diplomatic notes one more time. "I've studied their customs carefully. We need to bow slightly when we meet the High Counselor. We should speak slowly and clearly. And we must never raise our voices, even when excited." "Don't worry," Jake said. "We're humans. We know how to be peaceful and respectful." As the ship got closer to the planet, they could see it was beautiful. It had blue oceans, green continents, and white clouds. 3 moons hung in the purple sky. Space stations orbited the planet like silver jewelry. "Incoming message from Zentari Control," said the ship's computer. A friendly alien voice filled the bridge. "Welcome, peaceful humans. We are honored by your visit. Please follow the guide ships to Landing Bay 7. 6 small alien ships appeared near Harmony's edge. They were shaped like flowers and glowed with soft light. Jake followed them down toward the planet. "This is it," he said to his crew. "Today, humanity joins the galactic community." Lisa looked out at the alien city below them. It was huge and beautiful, with tall towers that twisted like vines. Flying vehicles moved between the buildings like colorful birds. "It's amazing," she whispered. Ryan checked his equipment one last time. "All security systems are powered down. As requested, we're showing them that we come in peace." Kate practiced her speech in the alien language. She wanted everything to be perfect. As they landed, Jake felt happy and proud. Humans had earned this moment. They had proven that they were peaceful, helpful, and trustworthy. The galaxy knew humans as gentle people who chose cooperation over conflict. What Jake didn't know was that some aliens in the Confederacy had different ideas about humans. They thought humans seemed too good to be true. They wondered if humans were hiding something. They planned to test human patience and see what would happen when these peaceful creatures got angry. But for now, Jake and his crew were just excited to make new friends among the stars. 3 weeks had passed since the humans arrived at Centauri Prime. Captain Jake Morrison felt good about how things were going. His crew had made friends with many aliens. Dr. Lisa Carter spent her days learning about alien biology. Ambassador Kate Sullivan had long talks with diplomats from different species. Everyone seemed happy, but not everyone was happy about the humans. General Thrakmer of the Korthic Empire sat in his dark ship above the planet. He was a large alien with thick, red skin and 4 arms. His people were warriors who had fought the Zentari for many years before losing the war. Now they had to follow Zentari rules, but Thrakmer didn't like it. "These humans are weak," he told his soldiers. "Look at them. They smile and bow and say nice words. They act like children. How can the Confederacy want to make them members?" His second in command, Captain Grickstall, agreed. "They carry no weapons. They don't even wear armor. Any real species would have conquered them long ago." Thrakmer looked at the human ship on his screen. "I think we should test them. See what happens when someone pushes these peaceful humans. Maybe then the Confederacy will see the truth." Down on the planet, Lieutenant Danny Cooper was working on a water cleaning system. He was young, only 22 years old, with red hair and freckles. Danny was good with machines and loved helping others. The Zentari had asked him to fix their old water processors. Danny hummed while he worked. The alien city was beautiful, and the people were kind. He felt lucky to be part of this historic mission. 3 Korthic soldiers watched him from across the street. They had been following him for 2 days. "That's one of the humans," said the first soldier. "He looks weak." "Let's see how tough he really is," said the second soldier. The 3 Korthics walked over to Danny. They were much bigger than him and carried energy weapons. Danny looked up and smiled. "Hello," he said in their language. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" The first Korthic pushed Danny hard. The young human fell backward into the water processor. Tools scattered everywhere. Danny got up slowly, wiping mud from his clothes. "I'm sorry if I was in your way," Danny said. He didn't sound angry, just confused. The second Korthic laughed. "You humans are pathetic. No wonder your species needs protection." They pushed Danny again. This time he hit his head on a metal pipe. Blood ran down his face, but Danny didn't fight back. He could have fought them. Human military training was part of basic education, but Danny followed the rules. Humans were supposed to be peaceful. Please, Danny said. I don't want any trouble. I'm just trying to help with the water system. The Cortex took his tools and threw them in the mud. They broke his computer and tore his work plans. Then they walked away, laughing. Danny sat in the mud for a long time. His head hurt, and he felt sad. But he didn't report the attack right away. He didn't want to cause problems for the mission. 2 days later, Dr. Carter discovered something strange. She was in the alien library, reading about the different species. A friendly Aquilian librarian told her about the betting pools. Betting pools? Lisa asked. Oh, yes, the blue-skinned Aquilian said. Many species are making bets about your people. They want to see how long it takes before humans show their true nature. Lisa felt cold. What do you mean? Well, some aliens think humans are too peaceful to be real. They believe you must be hiding something dangerous. The Vaxians are taking bets on when the first human will get violent. The hegemony of Zor thinks you're all spies. Lisa couldn't believe it, but we've been nothing but friendly and helpful. The Aquilian looked sad. I know, I like humans. But some species think kindness equals weakness. They don't understand that you can be strong and peaceful at the same time. That evening, Lisa told Commander Ryan about what she had learned. They sat in the ship's dining room, talking quietly. It's getting worse, Ryan said. I've been keeping track of incidents. Someone broke into our storage area and stole medical supplies. 3 crew members have been pushed or threatened. Yesterday, someone put acid on Dr. Martinez's equipment. Lisa felt worried. Should we tell Captain Morrison? Ryan nodded. We have to, but I'm afraid of what it means. If these aliens think we're weak, they might keep testing us. And if we defend ourselves, they might think we're violent. They found Captain Morrison in his office, reading reports. Kate Sullivan was there too, looking tired and frustrated. Captain, Ryan said, we need to talk about the security situation. Jake looked up. I've been getting reports. Minor incidents, right? Nothing serious? It's getting serious, Ryan said. He showed Jake his files. 17 incidents in 3 weeks. Theft, vandalism, physical attacks. The aliens are testing. U.S. Kate shook her head. I've tried talking to the Centauri Council. They say these are just misunderstandings. They don't want to believe that some species are deliberately targeting us. What about the High Counselor? Jake asked. Vexthara is sympathetic, but her hands are tied. The Confederacy works by consensus. If she punishes one species for bothering us, it could break apart the alliance. Jake felt tired. This wasn't what he had expected. So what do? We can't fight back. That would prove we're violent. But we can't just let them hurt our people. Ryan looked uncomfortable. Captain, there's something else. Danny Cooper was attacked 3 days ago. He didn't report it because he didn't want to cause trouble. What? Jake stood up quickly. Is he okay? He's fine now. But the Cortex beat him up and destroyed his work. Danny just took it and tried to keep working. Lisa felt angry. This is wrong. We came here in peace, and they're treating us like targets. Kate tried to stay calm. Maybe if we offer them something valuable. New technology, medical advances, something to show our good intentions. We've already shared our water purification systems and our crop enhancement techniques, Jake said. What more can we give? Outside the ship, alien intelligence agents watched and listened. The Vaxians had placed tiny listening devices near the human quarters. They heard every word of the conversation. The humans are getting frustrated, one agent reported to his boss. But they still refuse to fight back. Maybe they really are as weak as they seem. General Thrakmer received the report on his ship. He smiled, showing sharp teeth. Good. Tomorrow, we'll take some of their people. Let's see how peaceful they are when their friends are in danger. Back in the ship, Jake made a decision. We'll try one more diplomatic approach. Kate, arrange a meeting with the full council. We'll offer them our newest medical technology in exchange for protection of our crew. And if that doesn't work? Ryan asked. Jake was quiet for a long moment. Then we'll have to think of something else. What Jake didn't say was that he had a secret communication device in his quarters. It could send messages directly to Earth, bypassing all alien monitoring systems. He hadn't used it yet, but he was starting to think he might need to dot as the human crew tried to sleep that night. Alien ships moved through the darkness. General Thrakmer was preparing his next test. He wanted to see what humans would do when pushed their absolute limit. The peaceful humans had no idea that their worst day was coming. The alarm woke Captain Jake Morrison before dawn. His communication device was flashing red, which meant emergency. He grabbed it quickly and saw the message that made his blood run cold. 3 crew members missing. Last seen at Research Station Delta 7. No response to calls. Send help. Jake ran to the bridge where Commander Ryan was already working. Ryan's face was grim as he looked at the tracking screens. It's Dr. Amy Johnson, Engineer Pete Martinez, and Biologist Kevin Wright, Ryan said. They went to study plant samples. Yesterday, they never came back. Dr. Lisa Carter rushed onto the bridge, still wearing her sleep clothes. I got the emergency alert. Are they okay? Are they hurt? Jake wished he had good news. We don't know. Their shuttle is gone, and their emergency beacons aren't working. Ambassador Kate Sullivan arrived with a Centauri official named Council Member Yexalon. The alien looked worried, with his blue skin even paler than usual. We have searched everywhere. Yexalon said, no sign of your people or their vehicle. This is very bad for the Confederacy's reputation. Kate tried to stay diplomatic. We appreciate your help, Council Member. Do you have any ideas about what might have happened? Before Yexalon could answer, every screen in the room turned on. By itself, General Thrakmer's ugly face appeared, grinning with sharp teeth. Greetings, peaceful humans, he said in a mocking voice. I have something that belongs to you. The screen changed to show a dark room. 3 humans sat tied to chairs. Dr. Johnson had a cut on her face. Pete Martinez looked angry. Kevin Wright seemed scared but unhurt. You monsters, Lisa shouted at the screen. Let them go. Thrakmer laughed. Oh, I will let them go. But first, you must do something for me. You must beg. Get on your knees and beg me to return your precious friends. Jake felt anger burning in his chest, but he kept his voice steady. What do you want? I want to see the truth about humans. I want to see you grovel like the weak creatures you are. Then maybe I'll consider returning your people. Council Member Yexalon looked shocked. General Thrakmer, this is illegal. The Confederacy forbids taking prisoners. The Confederacy forbids many things, Thrakmer said, but you do nothing to stop it. These humans are soft. They need to learn how the real galaxy works. The screen went black. Jake stood in silence for a moment, thinking hard. Around him, his crew waited for orders. Council Member Yexalon, Jake said slowly, what can the Confederacy do to help us? The alien looked uncomfortable. We will protest strongly. We will demand their release. But General Thrakmer is technically within his rights. The Korthiks are a member species, and they claim this is a security investigation. Kate's face went red with anger. A security investigation? They kidnapped our people. The Korthiks say they suspect humans of spying. Until they finish their investigation, they can hold your crew members. Ryan stepped forward. How long could this investigation take? Yexalon looked even more uncomfortable. Months, maybe years. It depends on what the Cortex decide. Jake felt something cold settle in his stomach. He looked at his crew and saw the same anger and frustration in their faces. These people had trusted him to keep them safe, and he had failed. "Leave us," Jake said to Yexalon. "We need to discuss this privately." After the alien left, Jake turned to his senior staff. "Options?" Kate spoke first. "I could offer the Cortex technology, medical supplies, anything they want." "They don't want things," Ryan said. "They want to humiliate us. They want us to prove we're weak." Lisa was crying, but her voice was steady. "We have to do something. Amy is my best friend. I can't just leave her there." Jake walked to his personal safe and opened it. Inside was a small device that looked like a normal communication tablet. But this device was special. It could send messages directly to Earth using quantum entanglement technology. No alien could detect or block these signals. "There's something you all need to know," Jake said. "Something about human history that isn't in the official records." His crew looked confused. Jake had never talked about secret history before. "The peaceful reputation of humanity isn't exactly true," Jake continued. "We are peaceful now, but that's because we chose to be. We chose to hide our real nature when we met aliens." Ryan frowned. "What do you mean, hide our real nature?" Jake activated the special device. "I'm going to send a message to Earth. A message that will change everything. But first, you need to understand what we really are." He touched some controls and a new screen appeared. It showed historical records that none of them had seen before. Videos of human soldiers in ancient wars. Pictures of weapons that could destroy entire cities. Documents about military strategies that could defeat any enemy. "Our ancestors were not peaceful explorers," Jake said. "They were warriors. Earth was conquered and unified by people who were very, very good at fighting. When we met aliens, our leaders made a choice. They decided to hide our military abilities and pretend to be gentle." Lisa stared at the screen. "But why? Why hide who we really are?" "Because humans are too good at war," Jake said. "Our leaders were afraid that if other species knew how dangerous we could be, there would never be peace in the galaxy. So they created a plan. They would show aliens only our best side. Our kindness, our science, our desire to help others." Kate looked shocked. "So everything we've been told about human history is a lie?" "Not a lie," Jake said. "Just not the whole truth. Humans really are kind and helpful. We really do want peace. But we're also capable of incredible violence when we need to be." Ryan was staring at the military records. "These weapons, these strategies, I've never seen anything like them." "Because they've been hidden for 300 years, Jake said. "But now our people are in danger, and the galaxy thinks we're weak. It's time to remind everyone why Earth's history books are full of wars." Jake typed a short message into the special device. "Protocol 7. The masquerade is over." He looked at his crew one more time. "In a few hours, everything will change. The peaceful humans that the galaxy knows will disappear. In their place, you'll see what we really are." The message was sent instantly to Earth, faster than light, undetectable by any alien technology. On Earth, in a secret military base, Admiral Susan Hayes received the message and smiled grimly. She had been waiting for this day for over 20 years. Dr. Johnson, sitting tied up in the Corthic prison, managed to send her own secret message. Using old Earth history knowledge, she tapped out a code on the metal chair. The code was picked up by hidden human sensors and translated into words. Remember the lesson of the sleeping giant. The aliens who intercepted this message didn't understand it. They thought it was just the desperate words of a frightened prisoner. They had no idea that they were about to learn what those words really meant. Admiral Susan Hayes sat in her command chair, deep inside a hidden base near Proxima Centauri. The base looked like a simple research station from the outside, but inside it was the most advanced military facility in human space. When Captain Morrison's message arrived, Susan had been waiting for this moment for 23 years. Protocol 7 confirmed, she told her staff. Send activation codes to all hidden fleet units. A mask comes off today. Lieutenant Colonel Brad Stone looked at his orders with amazement. Admiral, these are the real fleet numbers? We have this many ships? Susan nodded. 437 combat vessels, disguised as civilian ships for the past 3 centuries. Mining platforms, research vessels, cargo haulers, passenger transports. All of them carrying enough firepower to level the planet. Across human space, the transformation began. A cargo ship Peaceful Trader suddenly revealed hidden weapon systems that could destroy asteroids. The research vessel Deep Explorer opened concealed hangars filled with fighter craft. Even small passenger ships showed that they carried military equipment hidden behind false walls. Back on Centauri Prime, Captain Jake Morrison watched his crew change before his eyes. Dr. Lisa Carter opened a hidden panel in her medical bay and pulled out advanced weapons that had been disguised as scientific instruments. I've been pretending to be just a biologist, she said, checking the energy settings on what looked like a medical scanner, but was actually a military-grade disruptor weapon. But I'm also trained in combat medicine and battlefield tactics. Commander Ryan Blake was opening sealed compartments throughout the ship. Inside were weapons, armor, and equipment that the aliens had never seen. Every piece of scientific equipment had a military purpose that had been hidden. Ryan, Jake said, how long have you known? Since I was 16, Ryan replied, hooding on body armor that had been disguised as a civilian vest. All humans in security positions know the truth. We've been trained to fight, but told to hide it. Ambassador Kate Sullivan was the biggest surprise. She removed panels from her diplomatic office to reveal a complete military command center. Maps showed the positions of every alien fleet in the sector. Computer screens displayed battle plans that had been prepared decades ago. Kate, Jake stared at her. You're a diplomat. I'm a Special Forces colonel, she said, her voice now sounding different, harder. Every human diplomat is also a trained special operations officer. We've been watching and learning about alien military capabilities for 300 years. Jake felt like he was seeing his crew for the first time. These people he had known for years were not who he thought they were. They moved differently now, with the confidence of professional soldiers. Their eyes were alert and calculating. The cargo in Bay 7, Ryan said. It's not cultural gifts, is it? Jake shook his head. Advanced weapons, reconnaissance equipment, and enough firepower to take over this entire space station if we needed to. On his screen, Jake could see reports coming in from across the galaxy. Human ships everywhere were revealing their true nature. The peaceful scientists were becoming soldiers. The friendly diplomats were becoming intelligence officers. General Thrakmer received the first reports on his ship. His intelligence officer looked confused and frightened. General, we're getting strange readings from human vessels everywhere. They're showing energy signatures we've never seen before. What kind of energy signatures? Thrakmer demanded. Weapons, sir. Very advanced weapons. The human research ship in orbit just revealed enough firepower to destroy our entire fleet. Thrakmer looked at his screens. The human ship Harmony's Edge was still sitting peacefully at the space station. It looked the same as always. But now his sensors showed that it was armed with weapons that could cut through his ship's armor like paper. That's impossible, he said. Humans don't have weapons. They're peaceful. His communication system activated. Captain Morrison's face peered on the screen, but he looked different. His kind eyes had become cold and dangerous. When he spoke, his voice carried the authority of someone who is used to being obeyed. "General Thrakmer," Jake said, "you have something that belongs to me. I want it back. You think you can threaten me?" Thrakmer laughed, but he didn't sound confident anymore. "You're just peaceful humans. You can't hurt anyone." "You're right." "About one thing," Jake said, "we can't hurt anyone. We won't hurt anyone. But we will absolutely destroy anyone who threatens our people." On Thrakmer's screen, new images appeared. Human warships dropping their disguises throughout the galaxy. Weapons that could shatter moons. Technology that made Korthic military equipment look like children's toys. "This is impossible," Thrakmer whispered. "Where did you get all this?" "We didn't get it anywhere," Jake said. "We built it. We've been building it for 300 years, while pretending to be harmless. We've been studying your weapons, your ships, your tactics. We know exactly how to defeat every species in this galaxy." Dr. Carter appeared on the screen next to Jake. She no longer looked like a friendly scientist. She wore military uniform and carried weapons with practiced ease. "General," she said, "let me explain something about human history. On our planet, we had thousands of wars. We got very, very good at fighting. So good that we almost destroyed ourselves. When we met aliens, we decided to be better. We chose peace over war." Commander Ryan joined them on screen. But choosing peace doesn't mean forgetting how to fight. "We've been peaceful for 300 years, but we've also been preparing for the day when peace wouldn't be enough." "Kate." Sullivan stepped into view, and her diplomatic smile was gone. "We gave you a chance to be reasonable. We offered friendship, cooperation, and mutual benefit. You chose violence instead." Thrakmer was starting to understand that he had made a terrible mistake. "You've been lying to us for 300 years. We've been giving you 300 years to prove you could handle the truth," Jake said. "You failed the test." Around the galaxy, alien military leaders were receiving similar messages. The peaceful humans they had known were gone. In their place were professional warriors who had been hiding in plain sight. On Earth, news broadcasts showed the hidden fleet revealing itself. Massive warships emerged from asteroid belts where they had been disguised as mining operations. Space stations dropped their civilian facades to show military installations that could coordinate attacks across multiple star systems. Hayes sent a message to every alien government in the galaxy. For 3 centuries, humanity has chosen peace. We shared our medicine, our science, and our friendship. We asked for nothing in return except the chance to live quietly among you. Some of you had decided that our kindness was weakness. You were wrong." General Thrakmer looked at his prisoner. Screens. The 3 humans still sat tied to chairs, but now he noticed things he had missed before. Dr. Johnson was not struggling against her bonds. She was studying them, calculating how to break free. Pete Martinez was watching the guards, memorizing their patterns. Kevin Wright was testing the strength of his restraints. These were not helpless victims. They were trained soldiers, pretending to be helpless. "What do you want?" Thrakmer asked Jake. "Simple," Jake replied. "You have 24 hours to release our people, unharmed. After that, we stop being peaceful. After that, we remind this galaxy why human history books are written in blood." The transmission ended. Thrakmer sat in his command chair, realizing that everything he thought he knew about humans was wrong. They weren't weak. They weren't helpless. They had been pretending for 300 years, and now the pretense was over. For the first time in his life, the great General Thrakmer was afraid. 24 hours passed. General Thrakmer had not released the human prisoners. Captain Jake Morrison stood on his bridge, watching the timer count down to 0. Around him, his crew had transformed completely. Dr. Lisa Carter wore military. armor and carried weapons like she had been born with them. Commander Ryan Blake was coordinating with Admiral Hayes on Earth. Ambassador Kate Sullivan was analyzing Korthic military weaknesses. "Time's up," Jake said quietly. At that exact moment, a new ship appeared near the Korthic prison station. It had been flying through space as a simple cargo hauler called the Peaceful Carrier for 200 years. But when it dropped its disguise, the aliens saw its real name, Retribution. The Retribution was not large compared to some alien warships, but the technology inside it was beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. Its weapons could cut through the strongest alien armor. Its shields could stop any known weapon. Its speed made it impossible to catch or escape from. Captain Nerea Santos commanded the Retribution. She was a small woman with gray hair and calm eyes. She had been pretending to haul cargo for 30 years, but she was actually one of humanity's most skilled military commanders. "General Thrakmer," she said, sending a message to the prison station. "This is Captain Santos. I'm here to collect our people." Thrakmer looked at his screens. The human ship was much smaller than his station. He still had a chance to show that Korthics were not afraid. "Your people are criminals and spies," he replied. "They will remain here for proper investigation." "Captain." Santos sighed. "I was hoping you would say that." What happened next lasted exactly 4 minutes and 37 seconds. The Retribution's weapons systems activated, and the Korthic station's defenses simply disappeared. Shields that had protected the station for decades were cut apart like paper. Weapon systems that could destroy planets were reduced to floating scrap metal. The human ship did not destroy the station. It surgically removed every single defensive system without harming a single person inside. The precision was terrifying. It showed that humans could have destroyed everything if they wanted to, but chose not to. "Your defenses are gone, Captain." Santos told Thrakmer, "I'm coming aboard to get our people. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." Thrakmer had never seen anything like it. His mighty war station was helpless in 4 minutes. The humans had technology that made his weapons look like primitive clubs. "Captain." Santos transported directly onto the station with a small team. They moved through the corridors like ghosts, avoiding guards and security systems with ease. When they reached the prison, they found something interesting. Dr. Amy Johnson had freed herself and the other prisoners. She had broken the electronic locks with improvised tools and disabled the security cameras. Pete Martinez had taken weapons from unconscious guards. Kevin Wright was standing watch at the door. "About time you got here," Amy said with a smile. "We were getting bored." Captain Santos looked impressed. "How long ago did you escape?" "About 6 hours," Pete said. "We've been waiting for you to arrive. Amy figured out that you'd come for us eventually." Kevin nodded. "We could have fought our way out any time, but we thought it would be better to let you handle the politics." These were not the helpless victims that Thrakmer had expected. They were trained soldiers who had been pretending to be helpless while gathering intelligence about Korthic military capabilities. General Thrakmer arrived with 50 guards just as the humans were leaving. He was angry and humiliated. His prisoners had escaped, his station was defenseless, and humans had made him look like a fool. "You think this is over?" he shouted at Captain Morrison, who had come aboard to oversee the rescue. "You think showing your weapons changes anything?" Jake looked at the alien general with something like pity. "Thrakmer, you still don't understand. This isn't about showing our weapons. This is about showing you what happens when you push peaceful people too far. You've been lying to us for 300 years. "No," Jake said quietly. "We've been giving you 300 years to prove you could be trusted with the truth. You failed." Dr. Johnson stepped forward. She looked completely different from the scared scientist who had been captured days ago. "General, let me explain. Something about humans." We didn't become peaceful because we were weak. We became peaceful because we were too good at war. Pete Martinez joined her. We studied your people for centuries. We know exactly how you think, how you fight, how you make decisions. We could have conquered you any time we wanted. Kevin Wright finished the thought. But we didn't want to conquer anyone. We wanted to be friends. You made that impossible. Thrakmer looked around at the humans. They stood calmly, confidently, like people who had never doubted the outcome of this confrontation. They had not come to fight. They had come to collect their people and leave. But they had also come to deliver a message. What happens now? Thrakmer asked. Jake smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. Now you learn the lesson that every bully eventually learns. There's always someone stronger. The rescue was broadcast across the galaxy. Every alien government watched as humans demonstrated capabilities that no one had suspected. The peaceful explorers were gone. In their place were professional soldiers who could defeat any military force in known space. High Counselor Vexthara called an emergency session of the Confederacy Council. When Jake and his crew arrived, the entire council chamber was silent. 12 alien species looked at the humans with new understanding and new fear. Captain Morrison, Vexthara said carefully, we need to discuss your people's membership in our alliance. Jake sat down calmly. His crew arranged themselves around him like bodyguards. They no longer looked like scientists and diplomats. They looked like what they really were, highly trained military specialists. What would you like to discuss? Jake asked. Your weapons, your technology, your military capabilities. We had no idea. We know, Kate said. She was back to being a diplomat, but now everyone knew she was also something else. We've been hiding our true nature for 3 centuries. Council member Yexelon spoke up nervously. Why? Why hide such power? Dr. Carter answered. Because power without restraint leads to tyranny. We chose restraint. We chose to be peaceful, even though we could have chosen to be conquerors. But now you've revealed the truth, another council member said. What does this mean for the rest of us? Jake stood up and looked around the chamber. It means you have a choice. You can continue to treat humans as peaceful partners, and we will continue to be peaceful partners. Or you can treat us as enemies, and you will learn why that's a very bad idea. The chamber was completely quiet. Every alien in the room understood that everything had changed. Humanity was no longer the friendly junior partner seeking acceptance. They were the most powerful military force in the galaxy, and they were choosing to be peaceful. Ambassador Sullivan delivered the final message. For 300 years, we've proven that we prefer cooperation to conquest. We've shown that we would rather heal than hurt, rather build than destroy. But we've also shown that we have the power to enforce those choices. The question you need to ask yourselves, Jake said, is simple. Do you want us as friends, or do you want to find out what we're like as enemies? High Counselor Vexthara spoke for the entire council. We choose friendship. We offer humanity full membership in the Confederacy, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. Jake smiled, and this time it was genuine. We accept, but understand this. We will never again hide what we are. The galaxy now knows that humans are peaceful by choice, not by weakness. As the humans left the council chamber, word spread across the galaxy. The lesson was simple and clear. Never mistake human kindness for human weakness. They are not the same thing. In the end, the galaxy learned to respect humanity, not because they were peaceful, but because they were strong enough to choose peace. And everyone understood that challenging that choice would be the last mistake any species would ever make. The age of the gentle humans was over. The age of the respectfully feared humans had begun.